fucking Justice League Zack Snyder cut. Go watch it.
Fucking watch it.
I'm Jake.
I'm KJ.
And this is Blasphemous Reviews. The early 2000s, late 90s was like a free-for-all.
For weird movies. I remember.
Not just movies, but music and shit, too.
I think if anything, I would miss...
Skeet, motherfucker.
Bro, don't disrespect.
I ain't disrespecting.
Okay. Because Lil Jon was that shit. He was that shit. Those songs, the bass hits so fucking hard on those songs. And
I'm just saying, though, like, nobody's writing lyrics now about skeeting. And
no.
Like, you know what I mean?
I guess actually,
it's like... that song you showed me that one time.
Which one's that?
I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I completely forget what it's called, but it's very graphic. I will throw it down at some point in our YouTube. Like, I'm going to probably start sharing music, I think. Just sharing YouTube music videos. Like, hey, does anybody remember that slap? Is that what the kids say? Do they remember that slap? I don't know. But I was listening to the other day. I was entranced by this, and this is probably because it was my childhood, but it was Smooth by Santana featuring homeboy from Matchbox 20. I can't think of his name right now.
I don't know.
And like I put the video was on because I was on YouTube Music, and my goodness, I was just entranced by nostalgia and just childhood. And like that song still fucking slaps. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Fucking Smooth by Santana fucking slaps. Go back and listen to that shit. So it
what's
makes
the song
me...
you did with Chad Kroeger? Didn't he do a song with Chad Kroeger?
He did.
Kroeger. I don't know.
Kroeger. I don't know. Yeah, he did. I think it's like
photograph.
Well, that's his band, Nickelback. Okay. I don't even know why I had to explain that to you, like you didn't know. And
Nickelback is a band.
Nickelback from Canada.
In case nobody's ever heard of them, you know.
Right. At all.
And don't know every single lyric to every single song of theirs.
Do you know what? I feel like when Nickelback sits here and gets so much fucking hate through the internet, which is very true. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and defend Nickelback, but I listened to Nickelback, and it really wasn't. It wasn't really that bad. And
it's
like
not that bad.
It's like really not that bad. It's
not great,
but it's not that bad. And the drummer is fantastic. If you listen to the drummer or the drums in any of the songs, like that dude is technical. He slaps that shit.
Yeah,
that's another time I use slap. But with that being said, I think he did something called like Dance Through the Night or something like that. Santana and Nickelback did.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the name of the song though.
I don't either. I don't remember. Like, I like Santana, but like when he just started introducing featured artists into his music more, which I don't know if he did that in the 70s a lot because I don't know enough about him. I just know that shit was awesome. Like, and I think
awesome.
I think he trended that, honestly, because I remember there was like this instrumental classical band, early 2000s again. I think it was called like Apocalyptico or something, or Apocalyptic or something along those lines. And like they had a dude with a cello bass, and then like it was guitar and all this other shit. Is that what it is? A cello bass?
They were like string bands.
Yeah, string band. Okay. But they were like really like ominous and dark with it. And so they would use like a lot of like hard rock lead artists like Corey Taylor from Slipknot, I don't remember anybody that was fucking famous during like 06.
Yeah.
But that shit was actually awesome too. And I don't know how that didn't survive, honestly. because that shit was pretty awesome. I would probably go back and listen to that. But going into this whole thing and talking about that, that's the whole reason I'm saying this. I want to go back into my roots of my childhood, and I want to go into those deep songs. Like somebody probably wouldn't remember, what I was just bringing up, the band that I'm butchering, but like some that could probably click in somebody's head. Like, holy shit, I remember them. So what I'm going to go back and start doing is listening to music from like 1998 to like 2005, and just see what I can get. And I'm not talking about all the
Spotify.
hits.
There's playlists for that. There's like best of '03 type shit.
Oh man, see, that's the thing, that what you're saying is what I don't want, is the best of '03. That's that mainline bullshit. I want to hear what I forgot about as a child. You know what I mean? That's going to string up a fucking memory, or you're just going to remember like, holy shit.
I promise you'll probably see some stuff that you'd be surprised to see.
Because it's crazy now, thinking now, like being 30 years old on this planet, 30 years around the sun, and I just want to go back to my roots. And it's like, you think as a older man, like this is how I've thought. You have to stay with the times. Like you always have to listen to 101.1 to Wiz. You have to listen to 101.9. You have to listen to, 107.1. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy listening to all of those to catch like the latest hits and what's going on and what's catchy, what the kids are into. And
I do not, because here's my stance on that. The ones that are gonna stand out are gonna last, and I'll hear about them anyway. Mm-hmm. The ones that don't stand out and aren't gonna last, I don't give a fuck about listening to anyway.
Right.
And that's just kind of how a lot of music is. Like,
you tell me that though, but like, are you sitting there
in the sense that,
are you sitting there listening to like Justin Bieber though?
Actually, so this past week I watched his Tiny Desk concert that he just did. From like his house or whatever.
Do tell, how was it?
It was actually really good.
I'm completely surprised.
Okay. He has an incredible voice, actually. All right.
I'm not surprised by that.
And his songwriting's pretty good. His ability to perform was great. He has a band now that he plays with.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the only thing that kept throwing me off. When he wasn't playing keyboard, he'd be standing there with his mic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, excuse me. But he would. All right, so let me just give you some context. He was wearing a like 3X white T-shirt.
Bro, what is he trying to? That's his blanket and his outside clothes.
And like super baggy, khaki dickies. All right.
He went straight 2001 with it, bro.
Right? Swear. But here's the thing: the whole time he was doing it, though, he kept being like doing that.
Oh no! See that?
But he was singing. He wasn't even rapping. He was like singing. But
he was vibing. Was he vibing, or like did he just
vibing,
look like
and it was cool? And like I didn't.
Did he look like a fucking goofball?
He kind of looked like a goofball.
Okay.
Like he was trying too hard.
You're gonna have to excuse my man's throat. This dude's been clearing it for the last 6 minutes now.
Jesus Christ. Let me drink some fucking water.
But yeah, like I don't know. I don't want to sit here and hate on Justin Bieber. I have no problems like with the music that he puts out. It's a trend. That's what people vibe with. But like I feel that there's artists.
I think he's an exception to the rule. Like he started real young. He has that that same sort of momentum that like Miley Cyrus got.
I say his is a little bit different. Homeboy didn't have a TV show. He did have a couple documentaries about him though. That is,
but I mean, he blew the fuck up when he was like 13 or 14.
That's the thing is, how do you live with that? I think that's why like people go down in a spiral. They want to fucking sit there and get 438 tattoos and all this other crazy shit.
Didn't graduate high school either.
Why in the fuck would he need to?
He probably got a GED.
Probably, but why in the fuck would you need to? You're
I mean,
making
yeah.
money for life, dude.
Yeah.
Like at first it was like 11-year-old. Like we grew up with that kid. Like how old is he? Maybe like 24 or something. I don't know. It's not the
Yeah.
point.
I think he
Prob-
is like 24.
oh well, I'm completely surprised I nailed that on the fucking head.
I think he's
Okay,
like 22 to 25 or something like that.
something like that. We'll play the guessing game that they do at Kings Island about your age. But yeah, I feel like we grew up with that kid. So like I remember him with the fucking skater boy fucking curl, to cover the forehead shit and the baby, 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 no. I remember all that shit. And like obviously I was a little too old for that fucking music at the time and I did not care for it at all. Uh but with that being said, it's not like it wasn't my kind of music, and it was a trend. He had to speak to a demographic. He wasn't speaking to grown ass KJ. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like he was speaking to fucking
Yeah.
his audience. So
And that's kind of like why I say he's kind of an exception, because now,
I think he's speaking to adults now. You feel me?
yeah, and he doesn't have to, well, because he's an adult, and he doesn't, but he
Right.
doesn't have to necessarily fully limit himself like he did when he was a teenager.
Right.
When you're a teenager, you can't make any decisions on your own, right? Not
Mhm.
only that, you're gonna listen to whatever your
Parents
producer
tell you.
and your
Parents. Anybody that's
no,
above
not
you.
even your parents. Like, I'm talking music career wise.
Oh, your
you're gonna
manager,
listen,
producer.
yeah, you're gonna
everybody.
listen to the execs at the record label that you are signed on for. Like, you're gonna listen
Unless
to them
you have
because
that.
they're telling you like, well, this is what you need to do to like be popular, and you're like, I'm fucking 14. I don't know any better, so sure.
Right, so I'm gonna be popular this way. Thank you, execs. But like, unless I feel this could be completely different. And I don't know, obviously, because I was never in that fucking spotlight. But I feel if there was that one kid though, that one exception to the rule, where like they were level-headed, and they actually knew what the fuck they were talking about, or like they kept an open mind and were like, man, these motherfuckers are just like talking shit right now to me. Like I'm gonna go talk to like somebody that I trust, somebody that's
Yeah.
that level headed. But obviously, you don't know if that happens or not. You don't know what goes on behind those doors. And once you sign that contract for that company, like you really gotta like listen to them and their every fucking word. You gotta hold on to that
Hell
shit.
yeah.
So
But yeah, it was fun. It was a good little performance.
see, I'd have to listen to that one. I'll give it a try, but after you telling me that little like back and forth rockaway move shit he was doing, like I'm just like,
He
man,
kept
I'm cool.
like grabbing his crotch and pulling his pants up from there. It was
Yeah, I'm good, man. Like
very, and it was
that,
odd because he was like singing beautiful melodies while he was doing that, and I'm like,
he was singing beautiful.
like, are you like rapping or you're singing? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And it's cool. You can do whatever you want, but also it's just like be consistent. That's all I ask for.
Well, something like, when you tell me, like I said, him doing that rockaway move, like you turned me off from it, man. Just be a human fucking being, like, you know what I mean, vibe, but like wear some pants that fit you and get a fucking t-shirt that fits you well. Like we're not in that. Like, again, that's the trend of 2002 when everybody was wearing a 6X and they weren't wearing their normal size t-shirts and. That shit died. I mean, people still wear a bigger t-shirt, but it's not anywhere near what it used to be.
Oh yeah, like down to your knees.
Dude, it was stupid. It's like, how do you get into your pockets? Like, pick up a tire fucking t-shirt.
Yeah, them D-boys.
Bro, I think, don't get me wrong though, I think I had one t-shirt and did that. I was an exception to the rule at one point.
I mean, I was white. That was...
To listen to Eminem, because I had that one rapper that I could fucking sit there. You know what? We're good. That's why like you saw so many fucking kids fucking shave their hair and dye it blonde a little bit.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they did.
You know,
They
just because
get the diamond studded, big old fat fake diamond studded earrings.
I remember that
with the blonde hair. And...
100%. And I remember that everybody would have that poster of Eminem where homeboy was didn't have his shirt on and then showed his boxers and he was in jeans or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It was a very famous It was a very famous fucking poster. It was just I remember that because my buddy, he's trying to buy that poster again. And again, early 2000s poster, that's like an $85 poster.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
That's wild.
It is. It's crazy how the world is with that kind of shit from like
you bought
2000s.
this for $5 at Walmart in 2002, but now it's an $85 poster.
It's fucking crazy. I know, like, for example, a 2000 fad that I can actually bring up that's happened throughout this week. I decided to go old school with my life. I wanted to bring some what do you want to call it? Some nostalgia into my life. I didn't tell you about this.
Nostalgia?
Nostalgia. Nostalgia. But I decided to buy a Tamagotchi. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I bought one.
Tamagotchi?
And what is it? Tamagotchi? Whatever the fuck it is. I don't care, dude.
It's a Tamagotchi.
So that's the very American
Tamagotchi.
It's the very Southern American withdrawal, or not withdrawal, geez. The draw I have, you know. I got that Tamagotchi.
You ever heard of that Tamagotchi? I bought my daughter one of them. She really likes it.
You went from like hillbilly to like Forrest Gump. You transitioned.
I don't know.
That's fucking great. But I bought one, and immediately when I pull, you pull out that little plastic strip to like make it start
Activated.
fucking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it. I did everything from the directions telling me to, and then like every few fucking seconds, it's beep 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 beep, just beeping, and I'm like, oh man,
you gotta fucking take care of that motherfucker.
Yeah, and I was for a minute, and I thought, okay, it's cool. I can put it down for like 45 minutes, and it'll beep again. Nope, it's like every 15 fucking minutes, and I'm like thinking to myself, this was an investment to take care of a computer or a virtual computer child, and I'm like, okay. Fuck this. So
Yeah, right.
I'm returning that back to Amazon.
Nice.
So to speak. So yeah,
So to speak. What does that mean?
I don't know. That I have to get my ass out and return it. So it's like, you got a 50-50. Don't lose the expiration date. So to speak, I guess. Like, I don't know. Maybe that didn't work out. So to speak. But yeah, so like I will never fucking do that again. Like I'd rather just play my Nintendo, and
rather just invest your time into playing like Stardew Valley or something.
Right, more time into that. Like, cause there's too much shit that's actually been updated through that game. They actually made a board game now. I'm very excited to get it at some point. It's like one of those real detailed games that like William plays. Yeah. So. But it looks fucking awesome. But yeah,
see, I'd love to get into that. It's a lot of work though.
What's that? Those games?
Yeah.
I would say you just start with one game. You just look into them, you do some research, and then you start with one. I started with one, and it's like a DC deck builder where basically you're just playing this game. You collect cards, you try to get villains or superheroes. And at the end of the game, when all the cards are basically done out of your hand, you guys count up the points of those villains and superheroes, and then whoever has the most is the winner. So it's a pretty basic game, but it's also very fun because you get to see, DC characters.
I miss playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
I miss the fuck out of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Digimon. I don't remember if it was Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't remember what game it was. It was back on the PlayStation 1 or the PlayStation 2. I don't remember. But my uncle used to play either one of those. He played both, but I think it was Digimon, honestly. And what would happen is when they're making a new Digimon, he could take out the disc of Digimon, the game, throw in a random CD, whatever it might be, and it would create a Digimon from that CD. And then he popped the CD back out, put his disc back in. And this is all why the game is still playing. I don't know how the fuck they did it, but especially during that time with those kind of games. But I think it was PS1, honestly. But it was so cool to see that kind of shit.
Huh.
Like that's that I don't know, that 2000s nostalgia right there, man.
That's interesting. I never heard of that. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty damn cool. My uncle, he's a game head, man, and it's cool to see that because he's into Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon. He plays the fuck out of MLB, and like he's playing where like I'll see him online on PS4, and he'll be playing like it'll be like 189-6. Like right, like just like so,
What are you doing?
Fuck? Right, like this is baseball, dog. How are you at 189-6?
He's
like,
just like chugging Pepsis and
smoking squares, just
smoking
fucking
squares and slamming the baseball. That's fun.
But yeah, Digimon was fucking great. I can't remember any of the characters.
I don't remember much of Digimon.
Mm.
We were more so into Yu-Gi-Oh than anything.
Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon.
Yeah,
I remember.
We used to go to the mall every Saturday morning for Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments.
Or Cincinnati Sci-Fi.
Or Cincinnati Sci-Fi, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which they moved, and then that.
Oh, they're still around?
Are they?
I don't know. I don't know. I know they moved out of that spot.
They moved to Northgate Mall for a while.
Okay.
And they were there for a little bit. And
then I think they're still there. Because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. And I've been in that mall. It's like, if I'm not mistaken, it's like in this corner, and there's a Batman as you walk in the entrance. And they specialize more in board games now, which I think back in the day, they really just specialized in like trading cards and action figures.
It was Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and D&D. It was like there are three big things that they did.
And I didn't know. I wish I would have asked questions at such a younger age about that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
I would have been playing some fucking D&D instead of Yu-Gi-Oh.
All fucking day, dude.
Yeah.
And like, it looks so intriguing, but like anybody that I feel like you start playing with immediately that's not a noob is just, I don't know, they're gonna be a dick. Like, I don't think they mean to be.
Playing D&D?
Yeah, like you get somebody that's experienced. I'd rather have, you know, if I go and play this with like 2 other dudes or 3 other dudes or females, whoever the fuck wants to play, we all are fucking
dudes
fresh.
Only.
Right. Like, what is it called? It's the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Yeah.
But no, like, I don't care. Whoever wants to play, but the people I would want to play with are completely new to the fucking game. Never played it once in their life.
I don't know. So I have some friends that have been playing D&D since they were kids.
Yeah.
And they're great to get with because at least they're very chill about it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna,
well, then I think it just depends on the patience of the person then.
They're stoners, so they just like blow down the whole time and get distracted.
They just want to vibe with you. They just want you to learn and okay.
Yeah. So it's fun. And like my one buddy Chad, he'll help me. Like he's helped me build multiple characters, like 2 characters before, and so yeah, it's a lot of fun. Dude. And he literally knows every single thing there is to know about the rules.
People take that shit super seriously, man.
Yeah, he's got all the different rule books and like all the different class books.
I bet you he has different die too, don't he?
Oh yeah. Well, he also has
a little box or something.
Like he has a whole bookshelf of D&D stuff. But
okay. Well, I'm talking about like when people do it, like depending on whose house you're going to. Like I knew somebody that I used to work with that loved the game so much he actually built himself a custom box where he put his rule book, like a manual, couple different kinds of die, and you know a bunch of shit like that.
Well, he collects figures too, so he's been buying a lot of D&D figures.
Dude,
some of those figures. Nice. What's crazy is like he's talking about how he's bought some recently for pretty cheap. and then he went around and like looked up how much they were going for, and in just the like couple years that he's been doing it, some of those figures have went up to like $500-$600.
That's gorgeous. I love
Yeah.
that. I actually, it's funny you say that. I have a Jerry Garcia Funko Pop.
Yeah.
I got it for Christmas. At the time when my buddy bought it for me, it retailed $30. It is now up to $80 fucking dollars. And
Yeah.
that's you know what I mean? So
Retail?
it's
Can you
crazy.
still get it retail?
What, Jerry Garcia?
Like,
No.
there's only a limited amount and they stopped making them?
Yeah. That's probably why it goes up in price.
That's cool.
And I have mine in a plastic tin, like an actual Funko Pop.
Plastic tin.
Yeah. I guess it's a plastic tin. I don't know. Why you gotta make it sound like that, motherfucker?
Tin is a metal.
What?
Tin is a metal.
Okay, well then plastic fucking box, dude.
There you go.
Gosh. Correcting me and shit. No, what do you call it? It's crazy how things end up going up in price so quickly like that. It's and fucking nerds just going back onto like D&D and all that
you
shit.
Fucking nerd.
It's so cool to see people, I don't know, come together like that, and not only that, we all share a common interest. I don't know why. Like, I guess this is just America, I'm gonna assume, but like, it's hard to find people that have that helping hand as you go through adult life. You know, you make fun of the kid when you're in 4th grade because they're reading, you know, a comic book,
Right.
but then you're like fucking, I don't know, 25, and you're sitting there seeing how awesome it was, and it's like, why the fuck did you do that? Why at some point? Why are we such at that point where like it's like, I don't know, fuck your neighbor type shit? You know what I mean? Like, fuck your neighbor. You know, it's so
like it's like what I was talking about in last week's episode, where when you get convinced that you need to take care of you and yours solely, it gets to a point where you don't care about the well-being of other people.
See, and that's cool. People are gonna live their life. I got no problem with you living your life that way.
Right.
But it's just like me, I'm never gonna do that. And it's just crazy to see how it works nowadays, or how nobody can say excuse me or stuff like that. Like my cousin,
Bro,
he brings
baffles me.
it
Motherfuckers just like blatantly are just like, you're in my way, so I'm not gonna say anything.
right. We're just gonna play chicken, and we're gonna see who's the bigger person. That's how I feel about it. And
Grown ass adults too, though.
right, and like my cousin,
Honestly, are the worst.
They are. They really are. And my cousin, he really gave me insight this over this past week about this shit. And he just told me, like, you know, in a sense, I'm just going to boil it down. He told me that, like, why concern yourself about, like, literally one small interaction and let it ruin your entire day, then just let it go. And
Yeah.
I took that really seriously, because I was like, man, I literally let everybody piss me off and boil me, like, to like no return, and I don't say a fucking word. And I feel like that's just going to end up being, that's going to be terrible for me in the long run. And I want to be mad. I want these people to be decent fucking people. I don't get why human exchange or human interaction is so difficult for us. I don't get it. I really just don't understand it.
Well, I think it's gotten worse over time because of the fact that everyone's been scared to say something. All right, so because the world wants you to not speak up against it, right? So I mean, it goes back to, I think we were talking about this before in another episode, where like our parents' generation, they were taught, don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion, don't talk about world problems, you know what I mean? Because it's uncomfortable to talk about, and you don't want to make people uncomfortable, thus they won't like you. So that's the whole...
Right.
So and I think that goes into, you know, how a lot of people interface with the world now, where they're like... A lot of people are just, I don't want to say pushovers, but they're passive. and they'd rather be passive aggressive than face confrontation. You know what I mean?
I get that. I mean, I think it's the fear of somebody starting some shit. It's the fear of worrying that somebody's going to have a gun and just decide to shoot you point blank out of fucking nowhere. It does happen, dude. People have that fucking fear where like people just get shot for fucking what you call it? Road rage. You know what I mean? Just for fucking road rage. It does happen. People probably have that rational fear. I'm just saying, man, like I don't want to sit there and have people not speak up. People should sit there and solely speak up. I don't want people to be like myself. I just know myself. If the only way that my brain is going to survive mentally through an altercation, it's for me to let it fucking go. Because if I sit there, I'm going to let it boil down all fucking day. Or like, I'm going to ask myself, why the fuck did I not say something to him? You know, and I have those confrontations that have happened before that are in my head that I wish, like, man, I wish I would have beat this dude's fucking ass, or I wish I would have, like, you know, at least said something to this guy. So I don't want to have that anymore in my life. Like, so if a confrontation happens, like a full blown on confrontation, I'm gonna fucking say something. But if it comes to like some simple fucking either racist fucking lady or a Karen or a Kevin or whatever.
No, they need to be put in their place.
They do. I'm not the one. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to be the one.
I'll be the one.
Somebody is. I'm just not going to be the one.
I honestly, it makes me feel better about my existence in the world, knowing that I've put dumb motherfuckers in their place.
I get that. I do.
Because,
I really
do. I don't know. I feel like the most I can offer is to help people and help the world. And currently, I can do what I can to help the people I can help. But also, I have the power to try to influence strangers that are being pieces of shit to not be pieces of shit. And it depends on the situation, on how I approach that. Sometimes it's with, you know, love. Sometimes
it's like I'm just gonna
with anger.
I'm gonna make you 6 inches, motherfucker. You're not gonna enjoy this at all. And and with that being said, I agree with that. And there should be people that put people in their place, because we do need that in the world. Some people need to be put into check. I definitely need to be put into check from time to time.
And so do I. I wish motherfuckers would do that to me more.
Right. Because like I want my feelings hurt a little bit. But
perfect and I make mistakes. And a lot of times I realize it after. I'm like, man, I wish somebody would have just like
shut me the fuck up for a second.
Yeah.
And that's the same with me. And that's the whole thing is I want to learn, like, whenever I do end up being in like an instance where I can make somebody feel fucking 2 inches tall, I want to do that, but I want to come correct. I don't want to sit there and just ring out bullshit. Yeah. And I've learned that too, just over the course of the few weeks of just thinking, like, I don't want to sit there and just run my dick beater anymore. And it might or might not be 100% true. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just want to be a better person for that. I don't want to sit there and be that same fucking person. I don't want to be that person where, like, you can look them up and down and whatever story they're telling you is a load of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that.
There is.
Where you're just like, oh my god. All right, get this over with. I know this is all just like half fabricated, half exaggerated. I don't care anymore. Type shit.
Right. And then what's worse about this whole thing is when you do and you call those people out, it's usually you're crazy and you're the liar and all that if you call them out on their bullshit. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the reason is because they're doing the bullshit in the first place because they're manipulators. They want to manipulate the person they're talking to into believing a certain thing about what they're saying, right? That's why they're lying or exaggerating whatever they're saying. And then you call them out on it, and then they gaslight. They turn it around on you to make it your... Well, what they're doing is, again, manipulating you to believe it's your fault and not their fault for being a lying,
Sack of shit.
exaggerating sack of shit. Yeah. So
Right, right. Like, and
manipulative people are,
they're about the worst in the world.
they are a different breed.
They really are. I feel like they just.
Bitch I used to work with.
I feel like they just like they're down in a cave and they're all just doing this as they sleep at night. You know what I mean? Like, this is how they regenerate their energy.
And that's the thing, man. How do they have energy to do this? Like, there's this bitch I used to work with. Used to, thank God, she gone. Anyway,
yeah, don't put any names.
I ain't gonna put no names. But if this bitch you watching, you know who you are.
Fuck you, bitch.
Fuck you, bitch. Anyway, yeah, dude, she would manipulate everyone around her. All right. Bless her heart in some ways, because she is a recovering alcoholic, who's been in recovery for 6 years or so. Good for her. That's great. But here's the thing about addicts, because, well, as you and I both know, we've seen a lot of addicts in our days.
Mm-hmm.
We know that addicts are manipulative, because that's how they get through life with their addiction. You know what I mean?
Manipulation. Right.
Manipulation. They manipulate the people around them to like, oh, I'm just going to the store. Oh no, you're going to go do drugs with your friends.
Right.
And not come home tonight, type shit. Like,
or no, here's a famous one. Here's one like how you just know. Hey, I'm going to the laundromat, and then they come home with no fucking laundry.
Like, motherfucker, where were you at?
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, so she was just, so she's not suffering from her addiction anymore, but she never learned to not be manipulative. So like, she like went through recovery and went through treatment, but of course that treatment is most addiction treatments are based on Christianity. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, like all AA and like everything like that, like usually is focused around God, right? And your recovery through God and shit, right? That's how, like, think about any recovering addict. Most of them are like churchgoers now. You know what I mean?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Find your thing. Like we've said before.
Right.
Don't knock on it. But I know what you're saying.
I don't think a lot of addiction treatment addresses some of the more nuanced psychological problems that addicts suffer from, such as
it's
being
just
manipulative and
well, it's like we talked
liars
about
and stuff like that, like,
right. No, but it's like we talked about. I'm sorry to cut you off. It's like we talked about earlier before, or whatever podcast it was, episode, I don't remember. We talked about how the textbooks in school needed to be updated because they're like from 1974. It's probably the same things with the with NA, Narcotics Anonymous, and the AA book, which is Alcoholics Anonymous. They probably both need to be updated with information, like you said, with manipulation, with that compulsive lying. Well, I don't know what else fucking happens.
And I think a lot of them probably do, but also at the same time, there's probably a good vast majority of it that is only surrounded around like converting your addiction to whatever drug it is to your addiction to religion.
Well, possibly. I don't think because again, this is where you just can't speak for everyone.
That's why I said.
Well, hold on. Well, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying in general. There could be AA members and NA members that both just come out there and be like, "Man, I'm staying off drugs and I'm staying off alcohol." But you know what? Fuck this Christianity bullshit. I'm just gonna live my life the way I set out and destined to be. There's some people that do there's all kinds of probably people that get released from those programs. Ones that, you know, obviously go back to the
Yeah,
drug, ones that stay with God and stay clean, ones that go to God and don't stay clean. And, you know, there's,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I have a problem, and I guess I don't know why I have a problem, but I do. I have a problem when people attribute their success from getting out of their addiction to God. They're like, oh, well, I wouldn't be sober and here today if it wasn't for God. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, you did that. You're the one making the conscious decision not to do drugs. You're the one who
Right.
got yourself out of whatever it was, not God.
Well, just
You
like
did it.
I think just like anything, and just like Christianity and everything else. And again, this is sole opinion. It's you know, we've talked about in the episodes before what our beliefs are, and I'm not going to go back into that fucking tale. But going into that, I think when people say that they had God help them, it's a crutch. It's just like when you have God in your life, it's a crutch for your life. And I'm not one to knock
It's a
Christianity. I don't.
1,000-foot crutch.
It really. Oh wow. Oh wow. You just went there with that. If people get the joke, I'm not explaining it, but that was great. Anyways, with that being said, you know, we both were raised in Christian households, and I don't knock God in any way, shape, or form. I have issues with God, and it's hard for somebody to believe the way that I was raised, and I'm sure Jake is in probably the same fucking boat. But with that being said, the way that I looked at life with my parents or with my grandparents or anything like that, it's a crutch because we're scared of death. And what you feel is you have some kind of manual, if you will, to lead you on your path of life. And I don't knock it. It's just, it might not be for me. I feel that I might take some things out of the Bible and put them in my own context, but I don't sit there and take the Bible word for word.
Right.
And
Right.
with that being said, Narcotics Anonymous, I feel, could be that crutch for people. God is that crutch for people because they feel like, hey, you know, if I didn't have this guy I was talking to every night or every time that I was struggling or throwing the fuck up or whatever the issue was, and I couldn't talk to him, I wouldn't have been able to make it out of here. And that's good for them. That's a great fucking thing for them. I'm glad that you felt that you had some kind of crutch in your life to push you forward. Hopefully you keep with that crutch and you move on with your life. God, I think, will always end up coming up in our podcast because it's a complicated subject. It really fucking is. And it's just growing up the way that we did and seeing what we've seen, it's hard to believe in somebody that can't even, like, when you see kids, not saying this was in our lives, but see kids with like cancer, 3-year-old kids. Like, how do you say God's real and there's a 3-year-old with fucking cancer?
I mean, it's like it's because of the way that it's been portrayed. Like, it's not what I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, it's been portrayed as this like whole big, like, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even
It's
know.
fine.
Yeah, I don't
It's
even know what
fine.
I'm like, how I'm trying to say this concept in my head that I'm thinking of, but like, it's like, all right, isn't the point of a crutch to help you to the point where you don't need the crutch anymore? Right?
Yeah, in a sense, but that's if we're using that terminology for this, and that's
I mean,
and that and but yes, I get what you're saying, and yeah, I think that's for anything. I think
and
that's when
I think
you're
people
scared or
use. I think what I guess now I'm putting this back is, I think people use God as an excuse to have a way to live their life instead of carving their own path or writing their own book. You know what I mean? Like,
hmm
they're presented with this thing. And you're like, okay, cool, that sounds good. I'm gonna use that to base all of my entire life on.
Okay.
And like,
I don't think that's
and so
necessarily an
they get this.
excuse, though. You know what I mean? I don't think that's necessarily an excuse. I think that they can live their life naturally the way that they want to. It's just that they choose to follow or feel that God is giving them, what do you want to call it, a pathway, if you will. And I don't knock that, man, if that's the way that you want to live your life. But I wouldn't call it an excuse. I would call it just, I don't know. I'd call that not a cop-out, if you will. And I don't
That's
even
what
want
an
to.
excuse is.
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't want to. Well, I don't want to call it an excuse. God damn it!
Excuses. I feel like cop out is worse than excuse.
Excuse, probably. It's just I don't want to call it an excuse. If you sit there and you truly believe in God, and you make a pathway, and you believe that God is putting you on a path, and you do that your entire life, obviously God meant something to you. You know what I'm saying? And like, that kind of person I respect 100% because they never lost God their entire life, you know. But a person like we're talking about, that's what I guess gets me, you know. Unless you're trying to practice it or you're actually trying to work on this every day, day in and day out, and you lose a relationship and you get back in a relationship with God, that's fine. But as long as you keep doing that till your dying day, you know what I mean. Don't sit there and lose practice. But it's hard because the manipulation that we talked about earlier and the crutch, that's both the things that cause like loss of belief, you know, is, you know, okay, I feel better, you know, from my broken arm. I'm not in pain anymore. I don't really need to thank God anymore. Okay. I'm clean from drugs and alcohol. I guess I really don't need God anymore. Or, you know, my pathway has been made for me after college and everything is okay now. I don't need God anymore. It's just, that's how I feel people use God. Or when you're dying, like, you know,
Right.
You never believed in God your entire life. And then now you're like, God, I need you. I'm scared. I need to be at peace, you know, accept me into your heart and I accept you into my heart and, you know, whatever.
I just wish more people realized the power that they have within themselves to do all of these things.
I think that's everybody, man. I wish everybody would have that. And I'm not saying again, you don't need to not have that belief, but just having the power and the sheer will of your own self and like your mindset and everything, and you will be stronger because you believed in yourself rather than had a crutch like God.
Right.
So, and yeah, I don't know. It's a complicated subject. That's why I always say I don't knock anything. You know what I mean? Because I don't knock anybody that believes in God. I don't knock anybody that believes in any kind of belief system.
I don't knock
ever.
anybody for believing in God. But I definitely knock a lot of people that believe in God.
Like my grandma believed in God her entire life. I will not knock her. You know, my dad,
again, like I guess you're. So what I'm saying is, I will knock people that believe in God, but not because they believe in God.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see 100% what you're saying.
Like, I won't say it's because you believe in God, but I will say that, like, to an extent, some people use God, like we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I will knock you for that. I won't knock you because you believe in God.
Dude, the sternness in your motherfucking face right there. I will knock you for that.
I don't know. It's just, for me, it's sad to see like people who have the power within themselves to do great things, but then turn around and attribute those great things to God only. It's like,
but they might find their stuff through God. That's the thing. They might find their answers that they're looking for too. Do you see what I mean?
Or did they find the answers?
Touche. But if they look at it the way that they're looking at it, then you know what I'm saying? They're going to look at it like God helped them find those answers. But the way that you're looking at it and your viewpoint is you found those motherfucking answers. And I get that on, I get that. Yeah. And I get that on both sense. You know, I get that on both volumes of the spectrum. But let's cut the fucking goodness gracious talk out. I was about to say I wanted to talk about this.
Out.
There we go. I wanted to talk about what do you call it? I saw Zack Snyder's Justice League this past week. So, do you know anything about this?
I haven't even seen the trailer for it. Everyone's talked to me about it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna watch this trailer.
Did you see the original one?
No, I haven't
Okay.
seen any. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen.
Okay.
I haven't seen Wonder Woman. I haven't seen any of the Batmans with.
Please don't tell me you haven't seen the Batmans with Christian Bale in them.
Of course, I've seen the Christopher Nolan Batmans.
Okay,
Fuck
which
outta
ones are
here.
you talking about? Which ones
The
are you
one
talking
with
about? Then?
fucking Ben Affleck. I haven't seen anyone with Ben Affleck.
They're actually not that bad, and this one, this Justice League, actually shows him in a different light, and it's pretty fucking awesome. Like,
And I haven't. So yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Wonder Woman. I haven't seen. What else is there?
well, there's Wonder Woman. There's Wonder Woman 1984. There's Justice League.
Superman. I
There's
haven't seen
Super.
it. I've
Well,
seen
Man
it.
of Steel is what it's called. But
Oh, yeah.
have you seen that?
No.
Oh my gosh! What else have you seen? What else did they make? Did you see? Have you seen the new Joker with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes,
Okay,
but that doesn't exist in the same.
it's in the
universe as it-
DC, but it's DC.
All right. So all right. I'm confused. All right. So there's the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
What is this Snyder Cut? What is this?
Okay, so the Snyder Cut. So, long story short, when in 2017 or 2016, whenever the hell Justice League came out,
Right.
the first version, unfortunately, Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide. So he basically stepped down from being the director at the time of the movie. Well, I believe they replaced him with I believe it is director Josh Whedon, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken. I could be completely wrong on that, so do not quote me. With that being said, he ended up making the movie extremely campy, and he really didn't give any of Cyborg any screen time, and there was a lot of racist issues or racial issues offset with the Cyborg actor. I believe his name is Ray Fisher, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So, and like I feel like I really hope that I'm not an idiot and like Ray Fisher is Cyborg's name. Anyways, with that being said,
Couldn't even tell you.
right, I couldn't tell you. I don't read the Justice League comics or Cyborg. But anyways, my point, what I'm getting at is they ended up making it extremely campy and ended up being like a real box office bomb, and it was kind of a terrible movie. So Zack Snyder, everybody was petitioning online for years to release the Zack Snyder cut. Well,
What do you
2019
mean? Like they made? See, I'm still confused. They made
Okay.
one movie,
they made a Justice League.
right?
Okay, they made it. It's already done. Okay, well, some stuff was already done from Zack Snyder. You know what I mean? Like he already had some stuff done and already filmed, for that movie. Well, when he stepped down, Josh Whedon did the rest of the shit. He
So he
finished the
stepped
movie.
in and finished the same movie, or made
Yeah.
a different movie.
He basically made it. Okay, so he made a completely different movie. He made it in his eye set. He used probably some of what Zack Snyder already had filmed, but then he probably rewrote the fucking script.
Okay.
Well, no, he did rewrite the fucking script because
Okay.
it's a totally different fucking movie. Anyways, so this movie gets made. It's a box office bomb, and it ends up being a problem for future DC movies in the future because they were like,
Yeah.
man, this one
Yeah.
did not work. So years go by. Everybody is online petitioning to see the Zack Snyder cut. Release the Zack Snyder cut. There
Did
wasn't
Zack
really.
Snyder finish?
No, he didn't finish anything. They were just petitioning for him to make the movie, basically. Release his version of said movie.
Okay.
So, I think it's 2019, 2020 comes along. HBO Max ends up, I think, giving him the money, or they ended up releasing it on HBO Max. Let's just put it that way. I don't know who gave him the money to finish the pre-production, but I think he ended up spending like another $20 million to finish the movie, give or take. So that ended up adding additional scenes, different CGI for different villains, stuff like that.
So it's the same, like the same. There's like same shots and scenes, and like from the original that first came out.
Very minimal. It's what Zack Snyder shot back in 2017. It was his shit that he filmed for the movie. So he took some of the things that he filmed in said movie, and like you got to think too, this is a different runtime. One's 2 hours, one's 4 hours. Okay?
Right.
So that smart ass smirk on your fucking face better lose it, buddy.
I don't have a smirk. I'm just trying to understand.
Okay, so anyways, let me get back to my point. So he ended up shooting a bunch of additional shots, got a bunch of CGI that he did, and finished the script on his terms and what he decided to see the final cut of the movie is. Okay. Well, his movie runtime was, like I said, 4 hours. The other one was 2 hours. They said, and if you go look at the reviews and everything like this is how Justice League should have been made. Now they're wanting Zack Snyder, they're wanting a universe of his fucking characters and what he released. Right. Unfortunately, because like it got like, okay, so for example, let's just show you the big difference. Batman vs Superman. Justice League, the first one, I think it got like a 37 to a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. I know that shit doesn't count in a sense for people, but it does to me. The new one that just came out for Zack Snyder, 80%.
All right.
You know, so like that's a big dip, and like it being a 4-hour movie and people still enjoying it and praising it and loving his final product. I don't know, man. It's the movie is fucking amazing. It's fucking wonderful.
All right, I'm going to watch the trailer.
Are you allowed to put the sound on, or are you going to do it with no sound?
No sound.
Okay.
2 minutes, 29 seconds.
Enjoy this trailer, my man. I don't think we've ever done this before, where you watch a trailer and doing it live.
Okay, so does this movie take into, like, does it basically say that the first one never existed, or does it still include, like...
Are you talking about the first Justice League that came out?
Yeah.
Okay, so in a sense, just to answer your question, they're two totally different separate movies.
Right.
And
with different stories, right?
Well, completely different stories. Well, no, the story is kind of the same, but it's also not. They put a lot more detail and thought into the whole premise of the movie.
That's what I was trying to understand. Is it the same movie, but just filmed... like refilmed, essentially?
No, see, that's what I'm saying. You're so caught up in that same fucking mindset of what you're saying. It's not the same fucking movie. That's all I can tell you there. It's not the same fucking movie in any way, shape, or fucking form. If you were to sit there,
the same.
A smidgen of the story. Okay. So you fucking smart ass. Fuck you.
You see how I'm confused,
you're
right?
saying it wrong. No, you're saying it fucking wrong. So. The whole fucking point of this goddamn story is the same, just like anything. There was a movie that was sold, right? Okay, so Zack Snyder did a beginning, a middle, and an end. It was a comic book movie. There's a fucking character that needs to be fucking destroyed, right? Okay. In this new movie, what has to happen? They gotta have something going on, right? The world's gotta be shitty, right? He's gotta fucking kill somebody. So they're essentially killing the same fucking villain in the movie, okay? Do you see what I'm saying? But from there, it's a completely different layout of the fucking film. All I can tell you to do,
but just refilmed.
No, I don't like how you're saying it like that at all. No,
like,
it's not.
It's the same
It's not.
story.
It's not. I'm so pissed off at you right now. I want to punch you through a virtual computer. I'm so fucking mad.
Okay,
I want you to. Okay, all I can tell you to do right now, all I can literally tell you to do, is watch Justice League, the first one. Watch the bullshit. And then go and watch the second one, and
Why
you
is
will
it in
understand
four?
where I'm
Why
coming
is it in
from.
4-3?
Dude, I have no fucking idea. Somebody made a meme about that so hard.
That's so
Like,
weird.
it
So
is. It's
I
weird as
was
fuck.
wondering because I clicked on the trailer and it was square. I was like, all right, maybe I'm gonna click on a different trailer. That trailer's
Right.
square, and I'm like, okay, what? Okay, so the whole movie is square.
Yes.
That's weird.
It's weird, but it's not for me it wasn't noticeable. So,
All right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna do research about this because no way
like
that you've
right now,
explained it
right
makes sense to me. So
no, you don't understand it. That's the problem. It's
that's what I
literally
said.
yeah.
I don't
Like
understand what you mean. Like,
it's not
all
difficult.
right, let's just say it this way. All right, so let's just say they made Marvel Endgame. All right, okay, and then the same thing happened. All right, where the director stepped down and whatever.
Right,
and
whatever, go
all right,
ahead.
so now use that as a reference. Let's say Endgame is the 2017 Justice League. Now they're making a 2021 Endgame with, whoever as the director.
Okay,
How is that one different than this one?
okay, so I'll just put it that way. All right. So what would happen is let's say for Endgame the scenes were god awful. Let's just put it that way. It was just a terrible
Right.
film all around. Okay. What the director came in and did was they wrote additional scenes into the play, put more detail into the script, ended up adding additional stories with additional characters, and then made it kind of their own, vision,
But kept some of the original?
but kept some of the original.
So in this one, there are scenes that are also in the original 2017 one?
Yes.
There are?
Yes.
Okay. So it's like essentially like it's like when a movie comes out and then 10 years later they're like, here's the director's cut with an hour extra footage. So it's like the same movie, same story, just with more scenes, including the old scenes.
Yes, but when you see, this is what bothers me when you're saying that. When you say it's the same movie, when I've seen both movies the way that I've seen them, they are not the same fucking movie.
I don't care about conceptually. I'm talking about literally. All right. The scenes in the first one are also in the second one.
Not all of them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's his vision.
Some, right?
Yeah, because he probably is the one that made them. He's the one that did them. Like, and what
I guess I'm gonna
gets
have
me
to watch both to understand.
You will, because what's getting me so pissed off is you're like sitting here talking about like when you're sitting here and like when I see you just like smirking away, I'm sitting here thinking like this motherfucker thinks this shit's gonna be stupid as fuck. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like this bitch, and I'm thinking like this is Zack Snyder that made this movie, and you're gonna sit here and question such an amazing director? You're gonna sit here and raise an eyebrow to such an amazing director? Like when a runtime changes from 2 hours to 4 hours, that gives me 2 hours of content that I'm not going to see, if not more. Right. You know? And like I said, I haven't seen Justice League. Okay, so this is how bad Justice League sucked. Damn. I saw Justice League one goddamn time, the first one. I maybe watched it a second time, but that's been it. And that movie's been out for 4 or 5 years. 2017, 2016, whatever it is. Okay, that Zack Snyder one just got released. I'm ready to watch it again. And that's a runtime of 4 hours. It's broken down in parts. They basically just give you more detail on story character. They build up the story for everybody. They actually give Cyborg his true character and what happens in that movie.
So the original was like, oh shit, what do we do? Let's just rush and put it out.
I wouldn't say they did rush and put it out. From what I've read, Warner Brothers or whoever helped release the movie, they wanted it to be very campy. They wanted it to be that what do you want to call it? That fucking Avengers feel where they have a couple comedy, corny jokes in it, but also have the action. And they did it poorly, is what the problem was. And that's what the first Justice League that came into play. Like, it was
Okay.
fucking awful. Like, if you have to watch, like, if I'm telling you anything, you watch the first Justice League and then you watch the second one. Don't sit there and watch the second one and the first one. You gotta watch the first one first to understand exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because yeah, you just won't understand, and like that's why I got so fucking frustrated. I loved this movie, man. This is what I expected when I heard that Zack Snyder was releasing this movie when it was supposed to come out in the time that it did, until he had to step down. Like, this movie is amazing. This is what it brings the future. People want a future of this universe, of Zack Snyder's universe of the Justice League, but unfortunately, it's probably not going to happen.
I just don't want Ben Affleck as Batman.
Well, that's the whole reason I was saying that. He stepped down completely, but now we have an unfortunate Batman that I'm not looking forward to.
I think Robert Pattinson's gonna be a good Batman.
Nah, get the fuck out of here, Twilight motherfucker. The fucking light is gonna shine on him like a vampire type shit. I don't know. Fuck that dude,
I could say I only know Ben Affleck from Mallrats, and then use that as the basis of
that's disrespectful. And you know that. That's disrespectful. That motherfucker directed and wrote The Town and starred in that motherfucker. That movie was amazing.
It is a good movie, actually.
It is. It went hard.
I have seen that movie. It's good.
That movie goes hard. But no, I
have not actually seen any movies with Robert Pattinson in it. So
I've seen one movie with him.
Why did I say I think he's going to be good? I don't know. He's got the chin.
He's got the chin. I don't know. Like the first trailer looked really good, and like I just saw on one of my movie websites that the movie just got done wrapping, so that's awesome. So I'm just looking forward.
Post.
Yep, going into post. So I'm looking forward to it. I've been a Batman head since I started loving superheroes. So like I'll watch every Batman movie that comes out.
Right.
Even this one. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not saying he's not a good actor. There's like a movie, I think it's called Good Time, that apparently he did amazing in. And I saw one with him in it called Water for Elephants, I believe it was. It was with Reese Witherspoon in it. It wasn't bad. Yeah, about the circus. Yeah, how do you know that? How do you know about that movie?
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't a bad flick. So I don't know. I'm hopeful, but I'm also just like, man, fuck. And I hate it because
it was about Jared Leto playing the Joker.
Well, I hated that too. I absolutely hated it. They tried to put a different version on there. Nobody's going to be able to beat Heath Ledger's fucking Joker. There's no way.
I really liked Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, well, yeah, never mind. Actually, that was an amazing Joker. That was a disturbing, psychological, fucked up version of Joker, and it was amazing.
Between Jack Nicholson Joker and Heath Ledger Joker.
So okay. So when you say Jack Nicholson, when you said Joker, I get it now. But like when you said that, I just assumed Taxi Driver immediately.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the feeling I got of his craziness. If you've ever seen Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
But it was so good, and then I just remember the ending of that movie. Spoilers, obviously. Just the ending where he's like on the TV show and just randomly, suddenly shoots fucking De Niro right in the skull. It was such a crazy fucking movie, and it was I mean, it was wonderful. It was great, and I feel like people aren't gonna like that version of the movie, and I'm sure they don't, just because they see Joker and they expect him to be lighthearted and campy and shit. I don't know. Smothering your mother with a face.
What's great is we actually haven't seen him as the Joker, really. We've seen his character development leading up to him becoming the Joker.
This is very true.
But we didn't get to see a full fleshed out Joker. So I'm hoping that they
go ahead,
like evolve.
Continue
that. That's why. So you've seen the Snyder Cut Justice League. I said there was a glimpse of the Joker in there in the trailer.
There was.
What is that cameo? Who is it? Who's the Joker?
So it's still Jared Leto. This was is that what you're asking?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, it's Jared Leto. And the thing was It was and it wasn't. This is what actually made me have just a little bit of hope for this. And I'm gonna say what he said, but basically what happened was is they were in a post-apocalyptic world where Lois died, Lois Lane, and basically Superman fucking just wiped out this fucking world. And so Joker, Batman, and a couple other superheroes are all together. And like, Joker actually has a gun because apparently he's helping, you know what I mean? And they have a conversation about, I think, Robin dying. And Batman was like, you watch what you say. And it just got real intense. But it was really cool. He was, because Joker was like, you're not going to kill me. You haven't killed me for 20 years. What makes you think you're going to do it now? Some crap like that. And Batman came back strong as fuck. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he guaranteed him, he's like, I promise you the day will come where I kill you. And I promise you I will fucking kill you. And it was just super intense how like Batman said that shit. And it was really fucking cool. But I don't know, man. Great fucking, it was just a great movie. But Joker had a very small role in that movie. It wasn't, but yeah. But it was just the way that he portrayed him in that one. I don't like the what was he in? Batman versus Superman? Was he in that one?
I don't think so. I think he's only been in
Suicide Squad, right?
Right, yeah.
And that was fucking terrible. That movie was god awful.
Yeah, it seemed like it was
subpar.
I've never seen that either.
Oh man, are you just not a superhero fan? You just don't enjoy superhero movies?
I don't like the way they're doing DC's movies.
I think you need to watch. I agree. I think you need to watch Wonder Woman though, because it will put a heartbeat in that whole situation. Right. Wonder Woman's amazing, and Wonder Woman 1984 is okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. It gets a pass. But the first one is great.
I also don't know how I feel about Aquaman either. But
okay, so I loved Aquaman's movie. I really did. I thought it was enjoyable, but there was a reason that I probably found it a lot more enjoyable than anybody. And this is a humble brag, I ain't gonna lie. I have a 4K TV, so I watched Aquaman in 4K. And seeing the visuals of that movie when they did the underwater scenes and what they did in like, I think, what was it, like the pyramids and shit like that. They went everywhere in that movie. But it was gorgeous. It was fucking phenomenal. And I actually am very surprised at how amazing that was. So
Word.
I think those are two you should give a chance. That's for sure.
Dig. I will.
But yeah.
I think that wraps up kind of what we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I ain't got no more. Yeah, I'm good.
Fucking watch Zack Snyder's cut.
Yeah, don't get me angry.
That's the cut.
Got intense today. I got intense as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good. That's why like I really want people to not sleep on that
it
movie.
Does it justice?
On that note, take care, everybody. Follow us on our fucking social media platforms. This fucking guy.
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Go check us out. Blasphemous Reviews. Much love, everybody.
I will start posting 2000 music videos on our Facebook page, though. Yeah,
I will definitely start doing that.
Yeah, nostalgia. Yeah, we got it. All right. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Peace.